What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another Arsenal update video. No live stream today, people. The sunshine has captured me today, but I'll be back tomorrow 11:30 a.m. for the watch along, Everton against Arsenal, and of course Real Madrid in midweek as well. But listen, lots to talk about today, so we'll get into it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, people. And let's break down the headline news on this Friday. A sunny Friday in England, man. You don't get many sunny Fridays, so you have to make the most of them. Victor Gyokeres, the main man in the news at the moment, the main striker that Arsenal are being linked with. And of course, David Ornstein reported last week that Arsenal were heavily interested in a deal to bring him to the club. Apparently, Andrea Berta has sort of swayed the opinion of Arteta, who seemed to want to make a move for Benjamin Sesko. Graham Bailey reporting today that the feeling is mutual, people. Victor Gyokeres, as representatives and himself, are very keen on a move to Arsenal. Apparently his dream moves were Barcelona and AC Milan. But apparently he has been very convinced by the project that has been offered to him by Arsenal. Juventus, one of the front runners to get him as well. But Juventus struggling at the moment. They're trying to offload Vlahovic, interestingly enough, a player that we obviously tried to sign a few years ago, Daily Dusan, that's become a bit famous on this channel. But they want to get rid of him in the summer. But apparently Arsenal are now the front runners. Manchester United were obviously apparently one of the teams that were interested with the former manager Ruben Amorim. But it seems as if United are looking at potentially Victor Osimhen and Liam Delap, the two strikers that they seem to be looking at. So Gyokeres is in favour of a move to Arsenal. Surely we get this deal done. 75 million euros release clause in the summer. That's around 67 million pounds. One of the top goal scorers in Europe this season. 26 years of age. A gunman. Quality celebration. Quality goal scorer. Played in England before. Let's hope we get this deal done. And I hope we get this deal done early. You know, if we're going to go for him, get him signed early, take him on the tour and get him settled in. For me, would be a fantastic signing for Arsenal if we got it done. There's also a report today that goes in conjunction with this that basically is saying that Arsenal have given up on the signing of Alexander Isak, who apparently was Mikel Arteta's first choice, number one priority. It's believed Newcastle will not consider anything less than £150 million to even consider selling Isak. Isak has 3 years left on his deal. They've just won the Carabao Cup. They've got no reason to sell him. He's their best player. They've got the richest owners in world football. Listen, if they miss out on the Champions League, maybe Isak will be a little bit disappointed and maybe will look potentially at what's out there, but I think he will be staying there next year. And let's be honest, nobody's going to pay 150 million for Isak in the current market with PSR and the way things are. So I think Isak will probably stay for another year unless Newcastle run into some sort of financial difficulty if they miss out on the Champions League. So for me, if you can't get Isak, you've got to get Gyokeres. And if you don't get Gyokeres, maybe Osimhen. But Osimhen maybe will go to Man United or Chelsea, who are being linked with him. So it looks like the door could be closing on Isak for this summer. But would you be happy with Gyokeres? Me personally, 67 million. It's an absolute no-brainer. Let's talk about the headline news that came out yesterday. Breaking news while I was live on stream with Dan Potts was that Gabriel will be out for the rest of the season. Grade 3 hamstring injury that will require surgery. He will be out for a minimum of 3 months. Saka was out for nearly 4 months with the same injury. So Gabriel, I mean, look, we're at the start of April, May, June, July. Best case scenario, you get him back for around August when the season starts. But a catastrophe for him and for the club. For me, has been our player of the season this year. An absolute colossus, one of the best centre-backs in world football this season. And such a leader, such a passionate player. I'm actually really kind of devastated for him, really, that he's not going to get the opportunity to play against Real Madrid. If anybody deserved that game, it was probably him, the way he's played this season. But, you know, another hamstring injury Won't be back until the start of next season. Let's hope somehow we can get past Real Madrid without him playing. He's set to undergo an operation in the next few days, and then he'll be out for a minimum of 3 months. But hopefully we have him ready for the start of next season. Crazy, really, when you look at it. Grade 3 for Saka, Havertz and Gabriel in the same season. Martinelli has also pulled his hamstring this season, was out for 6 weeks. Saliba tweaked it, was out for nearly 2 weeks. So, listen, I know a lot of players this season are getting hamstring injuries, but for 3 of them to have to undergo surgery is almost unheard of. And is it just too much football? I think Arsenal need to really have a serious look at whatever they're doing and maybe tweak things. Is the training too high intensity? Is the training ground too hard? Are players being overplayed? All of these things need to come into question, because these injuries can potentially affect players' career. They've affected players' careers in the past. So very sad news there. And who is going to replace Gabriel against Real Madrid is the big question. As I said, for me, if he's available, you've got to go Ben White at centre-back. I would leave Timber at right-back, just due to the fact Vinicius Jr. is so lively. And Ben White's been out for a while. Asking him to run up and down at fullback and deal with Vinicius could be a lot. Maybe you put Saliba on Kylian Mbappe. It's going to be a problem either way. And to be honest, if Ben White's not available, I would go with Kieran Tierney at centre-back. I think Potsy said it yesterday as well. I would not be playing Kivior against Real Madrid. I just haven't seen enough to trust him. So it'll be interesting what Mikel Arteta does. And of course, Everton tomorrow. One thing's for certain, I do not want to see Timber playing tomorrow. He was out with a knock after coming off in midweek, and I do not want to see him risked against Everton at Goodison Park, one of the most physical teams in the league. In terms of that Real Madrid game, people, UEFA announced today Kylian Mbappe, Antonio Rudiger, Dani Ceballos will all be available for Real Madrid. Shamelessly, I was hoping that these guys got banned for the Champions League game against Arsenal, and UEFA have announced that they won't be banned. They've been fined, and they will be available and fit to play. Well, Ceballos actually has got a knock at the moment, but Rudiger and Mbappe will play in that game, which, listen, it is a shame, but, you know, at least from an entertainment point of view, you want to see Mbappe at the carpet playing against us. Just hopefully he's not ripping us apart. So, yeah, no change. Didn't expect it to happen. UEFA were never really going to punish Real Madrid for something like that, even though I was shamelessly saying I hope they do. Kevin De Bruyne, people, has announced today he is leaving Manchester City at the end of the season. I think it's safe to say a Premier League legend, a Manchester City legend, has announced that his time is up. He's out of contract this summer. Apparently, he considered a move to Saudi Arabia last summer. He described it as life-changing money, generational money that was offered to him. And the rumours are that he will probably go to Saudi this summer. One of the best centre midfielders we've seen in the Premier League. I think if you're looking at the ball player, you're looking at Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard, Fabregas, De Bruyne, Yaya Toure, those sorts of guys. He's definitely up there as one of the best. And he will leave at the end of the season. I think it's the right time. I think Manchester City probably will change that team quite considerably. Kyle Walker's at Milan at the moment. There's rumours of Gundogan, Bernardo Silva and Edison leaving as well. But De Bruyne, Premier League legend, he's certainly damaged us enough times. From an Arsenal point of view, I'll be glad to see him go. But from a pure footballing point of view, definitely a top player leaving the league. I think personally, since he had that hamstring injury, hasn't looked quite the same player, not as mobile, and it's affected his game. So it shows that operation on the hamstring can have a big effect on you. So let's hope the Arsenal injured players doesn't have that same effect. But good luck to Kevin De Bruyne, the ginger genius, as they call him. What a player he's been. And just finally, looking ahead to the Everton game. I mean, usually we do press conference settings, waffle settings with Mikel Arteta. One of the questions today from one of the journalists, a paid journalist that's been to university, studied 3 years, probably got in student debt to become a top journalist. The question was, Mikel, according to AI, You have been voted as the best looking manager in the Premier League. And he said he needs to thank his mum and dad for that. So, to be honest, I've probably done you all a favour by not going live today, because talking about that, I don't know what direction we go in terms of meltdown with questions like that. Forget the trophies that we haven't won for the last 5 years. Forget the striker that we haven't had since Aubameyang walked out the door. Artificial intelligence says he's the best looking manager in the league. So maybe we'll get a trophy for that. Maybe we'll do a parade for that at the end of the season while Liverpool are lifting the Premier League title. Hey, it is what it is. People, big up for tuning in. Hit the like button. Get in the comments. Feed the algorithm, people, about what we've spoken about today. What do you guys think about it? Gyokeres wants Arsenal. Gabriel's having an operation. Rudiger and Mbappe are available. And De Bruyne leaves Manchester City at the end of the season. What team would you like to see start against Everton? I'm going to put it out there. I want to see rotation. It might actually cost us the 3 points. But there's no way certain players should be playing at Goodison Park at 12:30. I would have no problem with Timber, Saliba, Declan Rice all being on the bench for that game against Everton, because I'm telling you now, we cannot afford any injuries to key players. So that would be my thing. Listen, people, big up to everyone locked in. If you're in England, enjoy the sunshine. We don't get a lot of it. 11:30 a.m. tomorrow, UK time, I'll be live. 12:30 kickoff, Everton against Arsenal. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all soon, people. Bless.